A lot of listen, my grandfather, my father's father passed before I was even born, and so I've never met him. It didn't stop but I still venerate him. You know, he's on my altar space, and so when the first time I felt his energy, like, cause I heard somebody say that your ancestors can't mount you. That's a bold-faced fucking lie. That's a bold-faced lie. 9 times out of 10, if you've known the ancestor in life, then that's not the one that'll mount you or come that close to you where you feel their energy so close that they can speak and all that other kind of stuff. But if it's an ancestor from a few generations back that you've never met, they can absolutely mount you. I've seen it a million times. My grandfather came so close to me one time and I was speaking. He was speaking through me and I had to sit there for a second and ask, because I felt part of something that was an ailment that he had that I didn't know he had, but I had to go afterwards, and I was sitting in front of my ancestors' altar, and I was talking to somebody. I don't even know who I was talking to, but I had just finished talking to them, and I was still sitting there, and I was giving a message to somebody, and Egun my ancestors decided to answer the question, right? Afterwards, for me to have clarity, I knew it was one of my ancestors because my ancestors' energy comes a particular kind of way. Not only that, I'm sitting directly in front of them, right? For me, when I get particular energies, they'll kind of, the energy will do something like to let me know the direction. That is, it's so, I can't even, because it's not a person doing this, but for some reason, it takes my attention and it pulls to let me know what direction it's coming from, because that's how my house is set up. I got these here, I got these here, I have these here, I have these, right? It kind of pulls me to let me know. It's kind of like a shot of, it's coming from over here, so it's like a, I can't explain it, but that's how mine work. So, communicating with them, finding out their stories. A lot of times, if they had breathing issues or died of heart issues, or they had lung issues or asthma or smoked a lot, you start to feel something, and it's not a pain. Don't get it twisted. You don't hurt. I have a lady that comes down, and when she comes down, you think that I am going into respiratory something because my breathing gets so ridiculous. You're like, find oxygen for her. I can breathe fine. You don't think I can breathe fine. Somebody else, the first time somebody else said they got scared, they was like, oh my God, get her. And I'm like, no, I'm okay. This is her. This is something, this is how I know it's her. She lets me feel it. So, but I got to talk through it, because if I don't, you'll think I'm over here fucking having some type of asphyxiation, and it's not that. That's just her energy. She had something with here. So that's how I feel it. So she talks like that when she's talking to me. As soon as she leaves, I'm talking regular again. Nothing hurts. It sounds like I'm struggling to breathe. I'm not. That's her. So you just got to pay attention to those types of things. And if you know their stories, then you know, all right, I know she had emphysema, so she always talked. So when I start, I know it's got to be auntie. They can also reincarnate into your children. You know what I'm saying? I did a reading with a girl a couple of weeks ago, and every time prior to her, I asked that question, the ancestors would be like, no. Everybody else's answer was no. She, I think, is the first person that asked me, is my grandfather or my great-grandfather reincarnated into my child? And that motherfucker came up, yes. I was like, holy shit. This is the first time I ever got a yes when doing this type of, asking this question to the ancestors. I've never seen it before. So it happens. It absolutely happens. Don't think that it don't. Yes, they can mount you. Normally, it's not the ones that you know. It's usually a generation or two back that you've never met that will come that close to mount you or something like that. I have a particular relative, the great-grandmother mounts her. We never met her. She died years before any of the grandchildren were born. Does that stop her? Absolutely. Nope. She's gang. That's my one. Did she did it to anybody else? No. She picked the one that she wanted to mount. That's the one she walks with. That's the one she's closest to. That's her homie right there. You know what I'm saying?